So in order to do your own sketchbook, what I did here was first buying a big sheet of Fabriano paper. Then you can cut it in equal parts of your own preference and fold them. In this case I use a measurement of 18 by 25 centimeters, which is around a B5 shape, and it's pretty good to have a big sketchbook. Then you want to buy cardboard. In this case I use a black cardboard, and indicate the measurement of your pages, but leave a little bit extra space around it so that when you close it, it covers well all your pages. After that you can cut it, and I chose a hard cardboard that was not very thick, but thick enough to keep your sketchbook from bending. And this was a relatively cheap cardboard, but has worked very well. And you can choose any color. I chose black because it's easier to carry and not getting it very dirty. So once you do that and you leave some space around the pages, you want to cut it a little bit shorter. Then find a place, it can be between two shelves, or in this case what worked better for me was to use this rack, kind of a tripod I use to record videos, and attach a hanger on it. But basically you need to to put it between two areas, two shelves or two tubes or something in between, where you can tie straight threads. In this case I use a thread that is thick and is like is resistant for the vertical lines that will give the structure to the column of the book, and that the spine of the book, I think it's called. Anyways, in this way I tie them to the hanger and take them down to the desk. I indicated first on the paper where this is going to be, and I put one line in the middle and two on each side in parallel distances. So you just have to tie your knot and make sure this is straight and give some tension without being too tight but not loose, so that you can tape it and it doesn't come off. So now what you do is you remove the support that is pushing your pages, and then you start putting one by one. Then you're going to get some thin thread that is resistant, but I basically used normal thread because I didn't have any other, but you can use something a little bit more resistant if you want. I fold it into several parts, put it on a needle, and then you start putting it through the line. You draw a line before with some pencil, so where the vertical lines were going to be, and so exactly in that point that is indicated with your pencil, you pass the thread through the paper, and that will be how you start knotting it towards your vertical line, to your vertical thread. So now that you have many straight threads and you're passing it through and around each vertical, so you pass it around, you pass it inside, then you move it through the inside to the next dot, and then you pass it through at the height of the vertical next thread, and you pass it around this. And when you reach the end, you bring a new paper, you put it on top, and then you can go up to the next line. So here you need something behind so that it gives support. Here I'm trying to pull them a little bit to tighten it so that it's more tight, the thread, because it was a bit loose. So now you go from the bottom to the next level and you pass it around the vertical lines. Noting again, make sure it's very aligned. You pass it through, you pass it around the vertical line and back inside here. Sorry, I'm obstructing the view, but I hope you can understand how it passes through. So you can see here how I'm passing it around, just making sure it doesn't entangle. It's like just normal sewing. And now you can see how it looks, how it's clipped the paper to the hanger, and how I'm supporting the back with a notebook. Here I'm continuing with the sewing process. Level after level depends on how many pages you want to add to your sketchbook. That will be as many you have to sew. When you reach the end, you want to make sure you make double knots on several parts of your notebook, just to make sure it doesn't disentangle and is very well tightened, and to cut it on the inside very short so that the thread doesn't bother. And that will be your final page. And then you're going to leave some vertical strings bigger so that you can glue them to your sketchbook cover. So now we're disentangling them from the hanger, and we are going to cut the curvy parts so that we can continue. And now also untaping the bottom parts so we can use these vertical ends in with our covers, gluing them to our covers. One of the good things about making your own sketchbook is that you can put as many pages as you want, the size you want, the thickness of the paper you want. In this case, a very good paper for resisting watercolor, washes and ink. And also, well, it's a little bit of work to do it, but you get a handmade creation of your own. So now we are going to put the covers aligned with them, the bottom and the top. Now we're going to glue to a paper that is a little bit thick, and that will be between the threads. The threads will be between this paper and your cover, so that you cannot see the threads from the inside of the book. So I put a piece of paper that will be the back cover or the inside cover, and then I'm adding white glue. This glue is called PVA and is usually used for books and this kind of crafts, but I think if you use normal white glue it will also work. So I'm using an old toothbrush to apply it both to the paper and then also to the strings. So now I'm aligning that back paper and gluing the strings straight. And now I'm putting the back cover, and I'm going to add some extra glue in between so that it glues to the back cover. This part was a bit difficult because you don't know if it's going to work or not, and honestly it was not working. It needed much more glue and kind of putting something heavy to make it stick. So here I'm doing some testing, trying to see how it's going to make it strong, but some of the glue came on my cover and made it a little bit dirty. So you have to be careful because you don't want the top of your cover to have glue and look dirty or bad. So finally I was able to glue that part. Now I turn it around and I'm cutting more of this paper from a magazine that I wanted to be my back cover, and I'm going to put it in the same way, aligned. Then I'm going to add some glue to all the sides of the paper, which will be glued to the black cardboard. That will be my final cover. Then after applying this layer of glue and putting the strings and the back cover, I need to make pressure, but I need to do a lot of pressure. So I was thinking, what can I put on top that I can leave it for 24 hours and really make a good pressure so that it glues completely. And I decided not to put a back spine, or I mean, if you see the vertical strings on the side, I decided to leave that look, which I thought was nice. Also a little bit afraid that that part would get dirty, but anyways, I thought that it was more complicated to put a back thin line covering those vertical threads and the foldings of the paper. You have to do something special there, as you can see with other books, and to keep it simple I just leave it like that, and honestly it has worked well. It doesn't get dirty. I put these boxes with empty bottles on top and a yoga mat so that I protected the cover, and I left it here for 24 hours so that it really made its glue to the covers very well, because those vertical strings are what are supporting your book. Here's the final product. This is the finished sketchbook. You can see some of the lines passing through, but it doesn't look bad, and it's a beautiful paper. I didn't tighten tight enough so that you can see a little bit of a hole in the middle, which for being the first sketchbook that I do, I don't think is so bad, but now you know that you have to tighten it very well. I like the ends that are rough of this paper, and overall the size was very nice, and now I could take my sketchbook everywhere and do my sketches. I hope you enjoy this tutorial, and thank you for my patrons for supporting my work.